Welcome, 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 collectives. My name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel. I want to welcome you back for another reading. No matter what time of day or what day you have found this message, I am super grateful that you are here. Guys, today's date is Thursday, January 16th of 2025. So those numbers for today are 1, 16, 2025. So definitely, if you have seen any combination of these numbers or are seeing them pop up in your environment around you frequently, please do look into the angel numbers or the numerology meaning of today's numbers. And if you have a birthday, happy birthday to you. Let's jump into the topic today. This one is a passionate topic. And I know it's not often that you will hear me at the beginning of the messages speak about any other terminology besides a message that's interesting. And this is specifically because I am not trying to judge the energy. I am simply trying to step into a space to give the information as it was given to me. But today's message is something like a download and also some things that I've been noticing personally in the energy as I interact with others, hear other stories, and also reflect on my own personal story. So I thought today's message would be centered around the energies that some of us in the collectives may have been experiencing around the topic of resistive energies. Now, with that being said, I definitely can feel since about the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, there has been a shift in the energy. Yes, are there a lot of things happening in our world? Absolutely, hands down. However, I have noticed that there are areas and instances when I speak with others or when I think about my own personal situation where certain energies that were very heavy or very present before are no longer as heavy or present in those spaces. So let's say, to just give an example, this isn't literal, but let's say a person was constantly running into energetic walls, blockades, or gates when it came to having moments of creativity. They might be noticing that they're having more moments of creativity, and so they're noticing a difference in maybe that resistive energy in that specific area. But even with that, there are still these moments, and I'm hearing about this as I speak with others and I look at my own personal situation where you can feel that resistive energy in a specific moment for a specific amount of time, maybe a day, maybe a week, whatever, and it's very persistent. It's very incessant for that time period, and then it kind of dies off. And really based on a lot of the information being discussed inside of the energy community, there's a lot of talk about how these energies are really losing their ability to be able to easily access members of the collectives who have shifted into either a higher vibrational state or they've just increased in their strength and their ability energetically and spiritually to resist against energies like this. In a lot of cases, their resistance is just simply being in a state of knowledge and understanding about what's going on around them, not consenting to energies being placed upon them or others' karmic, experience being projected at them. And also just the fact that when you constantly push against something, resist against something, eventually that something will get stronger. And so a lot of the collectives have gained strength in these areas that used to be weak spots for them. because they were constantly attacked over and over and over in these areas. And so it got to the point where they had to get stronger. It was no longer an option. They had to acknowledge what was happening, and they had to work on ways to energetically strengthen themselves in these areas. Some of the collectives have been experiencing spiritual attack while resting. And also some of the collectives have been really busy as I talk with different ones in the astral. So maybe while sleeping, just feeling like they're not getting as much deep sleep, almost like they're very busy while they're sleeping. Subconsciously, energetically, there's a lot happening. So if we're dealing with resistive energies that feel like they can come near or send more energy, or maybe that individuals are more susceptible while they're resting because they're not able to be cognitively aware of what's happening, there can be issues with energies feeling like it's a good time to resist against them, attack them, or create issues for them while they are in a restful state or while they are sleeping. So for some of the collectives, you might have been experiencing this. What's really coming through strong with this is that the energies that are still trying, even though their attempts are quite feeble, I guarantee you, for many of you, your spiritual support, your ancestral support, your guides, your backing, because we're talking about groups of energies that are protected, okay? And it is precisely because you are protected that these energies are not able to as easily reach you. And I'm going to talk in a second about the different ways that these energies try to reach out besides like overtly in your face, like coming to you with the foolishness or sending low vibrational energy or witchcraft in people's directions while they're trying to rest or sleep. So it isn't just that. We can see that even though these energies are not able to attack individuals in the collectives as easily, because a lot of the collectives have grown in their strength. It isn't that these energies have learned their lesson or that they're not carving out as much time for the mayhem and foolishness. It isn't that at all. And for some of us, we can actually feel, when these energies are more present in our world and we're picking up on it because we're sensitive to it. We've dealt with these energies for a very long time, potentially since childhood. And we are aware when these energies are active in the space around us. However, as I mentioned, due to these groups, the collectives being protected, these energies are losing their ability to be able to reach and affect the collectives in the ways they were before. So what might have resulted in like a huge situation in the past where you're having like massive communication breakdown issues all around you, friends, family, work, loss of a career or whatever, now might result to something quite minuscule that you might notice or an energy you might pick up on, but it doesn't really have an overarching effect on everything. It's very mild. That's what I mean. So even if you're feeling like the slightest bit, it could be that the intention was for more, or the intention was for it to reach you further and for it to cause more damage, but it wasn't able to do that. That energy was not able to touch you in that way. I hope I'm being clear on that and that makes sense. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about the different ways that these energies try to reach out or effectively touch you personally. So, it could be friends, family members who are not very tuned in, tapped in. And this is not a judgment. Everybody is at where they're at. But because of where they're at and where these energies are at, it might be easier for them to be susceptible to these energies. And what I mean by that is, all of a sudden they're feeling aggravated or annoyed, or now their pain body is triggered, and now they're just coming at you. And there really isn't anything like going on. Nothing really happened, but they're just really pissed off. They're ready to fight. And it may even be to the point where you've had to walk away from discussions, walk away from relationships, walk away from friendships, due to how incessant these energies are showing up in these individuals. And I've talked about this before in another video, at least one other video, maybe a few. But it creates a huge issue because you are noticing almost like minor and large eruptions in your life around you. And you're thinking, well, what is this? These energies try to utilize like a means of conveyance that has to do with like day-to-day things that you touch at your work, people you deal with, your friends, your family. Any avenues that this kind of spirit, okay, because that's really what we're talking about, because it's an energy, but it's an active energy. It's not a non-active, non-purposeful energy that's just kind of here. And it might affect something, it might not. And there really isn't an energy like that in the universe. All energy has a specific purpose, no matter what kind of energy it is. But this type of energy is particularly useful for causing disruption. That's what it is used for. And so these energies are sent to create disruption for those who these individuals are not in alignment with, for whatever reason. So if you have noticed a lessening or decreasing in these energies being able to pop up in your life, either because you cut off people that unfortunately were highly susceptible to these disruptive kind of energies, or because you changed something in your environment, you worked on your vibrational state by, emotional and mental health and wellness and healing. You did some healing for your body, your health and wellness. I don't know, whatever it is that you did that raised your vibration, these energies are still around in some form, but either there's less of them around you because you made it that way, or because you're just not as susceptible to these energies having an effect on you because of the work you have done. Now, in turn, this pisses these energies off because their one purpose is to have an effect, and they can no longer do that. And there isn't anything they can do about it. But as I mentioned before, it doesn't mean that they will stop. And this is really the point that I'm getting to here, guys. And we're going to pull a few cards, but really today was about this message, because I'm talking with some people who are dealing with some of these energies. Like, they'll have these moments where they're doing so much better and things are really improving. And it's like, wow, that's great. You're seeing the ability of what you can manifest and do without hindrance, without blockage, not even to the fullest extent, just a portion of that energy, and you're having great results. And then boom, all of a sudden out of nowhere, here comes those energies again. And it's a bunch of external BS that has nothing to do with anything you're working on that has now caused or created a disruption in your life. And that's exactly what they're meant to do. If they can't stop you from healing, if they can't stop you from growing, if they cannot stop you from reaching your goals effectively through these other forms of conveyance of energy, then they will go the direction of creating distraction and disruption in your life from outside circumstances that they know you can't control, but that they know can affect you. This is not to make anyone paranoid, although I'm quite sure most people listening to this channel are already warmed up to energy work and a little bit more of an understanding. But if you are new to this whole concept, please know that this is not to create a sense of paranoia where you're having to look behind your back all the time. No. This is not that. This has to do with you understanding how these energies tend to operate so that you can be mindful and aware, and so that you are not unknowingly and unwittingly giving your consent by a lack of knowledge. That's what we're talking about. Because these kinds of energies, these kinds of spirits are real when it comes to creating problems in people's lives. Okay, another aspect of this message is paying attention to where these energies tend to attack. If every second you look up, your house and where you live is under threat of being removed, you're under threat of being evicted every 5 seconds, you're under threat of being kicked out of your home, somebody is threatening you that lives in your apartment building or your condo community, your HOA, is constantly coming at you about something. It's constantly about your home, your home, your home, your home. And you find that it's hard to just find peace in your community or in your home where you live, your sanctuary, where you lay your head down every night. One, you can look at what that's associated with, like in your natal chart, which house in your natal chart that's affiliated with, like your home and your sense of security. I'm not good with all of that yet. I'm still learning more about it. So definitely that's something you could Google or look up. But you are able to see that these energies have an interest in knocking out your sense of stability, your basic sense of security and stability. Because your home, having a home over a roof over your head, a home to live in, clothes on your back, food on your table, these are basic necessities of life. If those are constantly under attack, then you can see a little bit about the personality of whomever is involved with these energies, sending them your way, or the energies themselves, that there's something here about your root chakra needs that are constantly under attack. Why? Because they believe that by doing that, it will throw you off your game. Based on their observance of you, they believe that it will throw you off your game and get you to either go back to sleep, be so distracted with these things that you cannot work on your soul path goals, like what you're here to do. So this should also give you an indicator. Why would someone, or why would energy spend so much time focusing on a person to try to knock them off their square? Well, clearly it's because you have value here. Friends in the collectives, you have value here. What you are here to do and your soul path purpose can have a great effect on the systemic garbage that we see in the energy. And so it is most important that energies that are here and have incarnated at this time, who have these gifts and abilities to affect our world in this way, it's most important to those energies to try and keep that at a minimum, because that doesn't work towards the overall or overarching goal of keeping everybody in a state of control, where these energies can continue to make the decisions about how things progress and move forward in this timeline. So if you have a bunch of basically glitches in the matrix walking around with the potential of creating a massive anomaly in the matrix, well, definitely you would want to install some programming, right, to try to correct that anomaly. But you're not an anomaly to be corrected. You are a being of light having a human experience. And these are just terms that we use to describe something that is of pure source energy that is moving around in a vehicle of sorts and having experiences. You're working through karmas. You're working with your dharma. But see, if you're distracted your entire incarnation, you don't have an opportunity to work on those things because you're distracted from point A to point B. And then you're on to your next mission, your next journey, or reincarnating, whatever you believe. But the point being is, you're so distracted, you can't get that work done. And that work has a direct effect on not just yourself, but others around you, how you affect the timeline, how you affect systemic structures. Can you imagine if we had a globe full of people who were awakened and connecting with their life purpose without the systemic distractions? This is why every time you run into shut up spells and things that are meant to take people's focus off of you, if you notice, like every time you speak up about something, even if you don't do it often, all of a sudden people are talking over you or walking off, or they can't be bothered to listen when you are the person that listens to everyone. That's not a fluke. It's almost like you speaking up is distasteful. Like it puts a bad taste in people's mouths. Now, why would that be? When people are constantly speaking up about tons of different kinds of things all the time, in real life, on social media, on the news, on this, on that, and people have all day to listen to that. But the second you start to voice an opinion about something or how you're feeling about something, it's distasteful and people can no longer listen. That's not a fluke. There's an energy there that has to do with your voice. Constantly getting upper respiratory situations where it shuts your voice down, where your voice always goes out or goes hoarse. Rashes around your neck and chest. And once again, I'm not a doctor. I am not giving you medical advice. If you are having medical concerns in these areas that I'm mentioning, definitely go and see a physician. But energy is real as well. So if somebody's constantly focusing, say, on your throat chakra to shut you up because they don't like what you're saying and they don't want others to hear it either, and they're constantly sending that energy at that same area of the body, you might start to notice some issues there with that area of the body due to somebody constantly focusing on it. And by somebody, I mean energies. If something is constantly energetically under attack, or a chakral system is constantly under attack, this is why we have to be aware and tapped in and tuned in with our higher self, understanding what's happening out here in these energetic streets. Everything is not materialism. Everything is not about, solid mass, solid material. It can't be. Everything has an energy-based origin. Everything can be put under a microscope and examined on a molecular or cellular level. So we have to get out of this mindset that everything is just this flat 3D experience of what's happening and why it's happening. This is what's gotten us into trouble. Is this hardcore materialist viewpoint that leaves no room for any other thought. This makes it harder for those of us who are dealing with energy-based attacks to be able to defend ourselves. I'm not saying you have to get in the street and battle like Harry Potter. I'm just saying, understanding what's happening, you can then understand what steps you need to take to raise your vibration or to do some internal work to help yourself. That's what I'm saying. A lot of you have been doing return to senders. And a lot of those return to senders are jacking these energies up. And they're pissed. But the reason why that could even be working, once again, is because collectives is growing in strength, growing in numbers, and growing in their ability to heighten, raise, or to continue to keep their vibrational state elevated. And that these energies cannot bring it down. There is so much here, collectives. I mean, so much I want to say, but I really feel like I've shared the bulk of kind of the thoughts on the messaging and the download. And this is why I say this is a message of passion. Why? Because we have to become passionate about raising our vibration. This is the way through this. These energies, as long as they're here, they're probably not going to stop doing what they're doing. And I'm not talking about on a political level. I'm not talking about 3D. I'm talking about on an energy level. Energies, groups, organizations, whatever. I don't know, cultish energies, whatever it is that engage in this low vibrational energy work that affects the populace. They're doing it for a reason, because they want to maintain a level of control. So what would be their reason for stopping? I don't know. So looking to that as a solution may not be the best place to look. We really have to look to our own growth as energy and light beings here in this experience. And please don't forget, yin-yang energy, polarity is real. It could very well be that this is how the collectives are going to level up, is because they're having to confront these types of energies down here on Mother Gaia, or over here, wherever we are in relation to other. But the fact that we're confronting these energies might be the reason why we are leveling up. And why we're having to learn how to be stronger, how to really tap in and tune in with our energy-based skill sets that we came here with and have always inherited. But maybe we just didn't remember this time when we incarnated. And how to raise our vibration level and keep it up. Without challenge, without disruption at all, we'd never have an opportunity to practice those things. So I guess there's an aspect of this where we can look at this challenge as being part of our growth as well. Guys, I'm going to pull a couple of cards. I don't even know. With today's energy, I did get a new deck. I'm going to pull from the Lumicella. It's a Togetherness Quilt, I think is how it's referred to. It's a Togetherness Quilt Oracle deck. So it's like spiritual crafting. So we're going to get into that in a minute. That's one of the new decks I'm excited to use, and I have charged that, so that'll be the first time I'm using that today. But we're going to start with a Woodland Wardens card. I'm not pulling a lot of card energy for this reading because that's not even what this is about. I just want to see if Spirit has anything to add. And definitely for all of you out there who have been dealing with some struggles, some challenges, anyone who's been dealing with any kind of difficulties that have been, you've noticed it's repetitive. It's almost like a pattern that happens consistently in your life, whether it's due to core beliefs, whether it's due to behavioral patterns that you're trying to move away from or grow out of, or whether it's due to energy work. I don't know. But definitely love and light to all of you who resonate with today's energy. Well, we have a whole clump of cards, so there's a lot Spirit has to say. What have we got here? We have the snail and the huckleberry. You're being encouraged to trust in the invisible. So just like I talked about how collectives is protected, okay? Collectives is not a group to be messed with because they've done a lot of work to level up here recently, and it's really showing up in the astral and energetically. Not an easy group to touch these days. Not in the ways that these energies used to be able to do it. So you're being encouraged to continue to trust in the invisible, excuse me. Your spirit team, your guides. Some of you have assistants that you don't even know you have. And don't forget about the universe. Don't forget about Source. So much assistance and support you have during this journey here, in this incarnation. And then we have the butterfly and the snowdrop. Hope. That's something that the collectives dabble in regularly. They have to. Because for those who came here with a certain energetic viewpoint towards this existence, life has been harder for individuals who came here with that kind of energy signature, where they were dealing with some of these energetic attacks from a very early age. So hope has been very important. And we have the butterfly on this card. So it is definitely a symbol of metamorphosis, of transformation. That is definitely where collectives is at. They have transformed into something new for this next stage of challenges and of growth, and also of experiencing more of what they want to experience, because that's happening as well. We have the boar and the pumpkin. Confidence. Yes, you are being encouraged to stay confident about your invisible support, about your hope, about your growth. Everything that is involved in this leg of your journey, you can have confidence. And you can base that confidence off, in a lot of cases, the experience that you've been through and the fact that you're still here. Still here, learning. Still here growing. Still here with the challenges, but learning how to move through those challenges. If that was not possible, you wouldn't be here to do that. The fact that you're listening to this message means that you understand that energy of hope. Even if it's not in the cognitive form, maybe it's in the back of your mind or somewhere deeply rooted in your heart. It's there, or you wouldn't have found this message. The dragonfly and the pansy. Balance. Yeah. You're encouraged to be balanced about the way that you go at the things that you're focusing on. Balance might mean incorporating more self-care, days, weeks, months where you're feeling like the challenges have been very hard or difficult, and you're wanting to maintain that energy of hope and confidence, but it's feeling really hard to do that. So you might need to balance that out with more self-care, spending more time in activities that feel supportive of healing. Okay? Balance is huge. Purification, the trout and the lily of the valley. For me, this one has to do with cleaning and clearing your energy field. And that is something, for those of you who resonate with today's energy, that is something that you need to be doing daily at this point. Maybe there was a time when we would do like, a little Palo Santo here and there, a little energy work once a week. That time is over. This is a daily practice of meditation, prayer, working with your crystals, cord cuttings, maybe lighting sage or Palo Santo, cleaning and clearing work. This is something that needs to happen daily, guys. So if this is something that you haven't been doing daily, if you start doing that daily, you might start to notice a difference in your mood, your disposition, your energy level. Because when the energies get really heavy in the world around us, we need to do more cleaning and clearing work to lighten that energy around ourselves and within ourselves. So purification is going to be huge. And we also see in this card here, the trout is swimming upstream. So we want to talk about finding the path of least resistance, clearing out energies that don't need to be present, and being able to be more fluid in the energy. This will help us with that. So just a thought on the image on that card there. And then we have strength, the elk and the ash. Definitely, we are talking about, just like I mentioned in the download, collectives has grown in strength. And if we think about the power of an elk, if you were to run into one in the woods, they're huge. If you were to run into one in the woods, you wouldn't sit there and try to mess with it. You wouldn't throw rocks at it. You wouldn't try to aggravate it. You probably try to get away from it. Why? Because it could be a very fearsome animal because of its size, its strength, its stature, if you pissed it off. So definitely, there's a lot of you in the collectives who have some of these energies feeling some type of way, because even though they want to send this low vibrational energy at you, they're not able to accomplish what they want to accomplish with this work. And the fact that you're able to deflect a lot of that energy definitely is making some of these energies feel intimidated. They don't feel as comfortable coming at you because they're concerned about the results. And as I mentioned, like with the return to sender energy, and also just the way universal principles work, you know, what we dish out tends to come back our direction. So a lot of these energies are dealing with direct karma from some of the low vibrational energy work and witchcraft. I don't know how else to say it, whether it's slandering people, whether it's wishing ill for people, whether it's wanting to actively get involved with stopping or blocking someone's ability to be able to move forward, even things like that. That's what I'm talking about. It's not always, like I said, you know, people in the street with wands doing magical spell work like Harry Potter. It's not always that. Sometimes it's that, but other times it really has to do with behaviors and the way we use speech, sound vibration, the way we think about others. These are other forms of energy work. Whether they're high vibrational or low vibrational, they are forms of energy work. The sound that comes out of our mouth is energy. So please do keep that in mind. Let's pull a couple of cards out of the Togetherness Quilt just to see what's here. And then we will go on ahead and wrap the reading up for today. Really good information here from Spirit on this topic, and just some things to encourage those of you who are dealing with difficulties. Definitely, just as I mentioned in the last video, my heart goes out to those who have been affected by the fires in LA. Wow, this is a beautiful deck, guys. It's gold leafed all the way through. It's gorgeous. For those of you who have been affected by the fires, definitely love and light to you. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Many people have lost their homes. So, you know, for those of you listening to the video, if you have not been, you know, a part of what is happening out in California, definitely let's send some loving energy towards collective members who are out that way, who've been affected. Because yes, there are collective members out there who've been working on their soul path journey, and all of a sudden they had this situation that was outside of their control, once again affecting their life. It's very challenging. I can't even imagine. Okay, guys, let me just see what this deck, Spirit, what does this deck have to say? Messages for the collectives. This one wanted to pop. We're going to grab 3 cards here so we can weave a little bit of a togetherness quilt, which is a great theme for today's message, because collectives, even though we don't all live in the same regions, we are together. You know, energetically, we are collective and we are connected. So super important to remember that illusion of separation is just that. It's an illusion. It's not real. Everything is actually connected and interwoven. And I think that's why this deck really spoke out to me. All right, one more card, Spirit. There we go. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, we have our 3. So, wow. Embracing the truth. This is beautiful. Question your beliefs and assumptions courageously, seeking the truth that resonates with you. Yeah, Collectives has done that. This is why Collectives has been able to grow in these areas where they used to take certain thoughts, behavioral patterns, beliefs, just as this is just the way it is, and maybe had been suffering from, you know, energy attacks and things like that for years, and eventually getting to a place where they started to do more research on the topic of energy in all of its different forms, whether it was through tarot and oracle, you know, energy reading, whether it was through, I don't know, talking is really hard today, guys. Oh my gosh. I can even feel the resistive energies just trying to share this message. Whether it was through Reiki, you know, exploration of different belief systems, whatever, Collectives has done a lot of work here in understanding more about energy and how it affects not only themselves, but how it works. That's what I'm picking up. Collectives has done a lot of work researching energy. So as they've been embarking on truth around that, there's been a lot of clarity, opening up of understanding, veils lifted about challenges that they've been dealing with in their lives. So that's a beautiful part of the quilt that they're weaving in together. Then we have wisdom's growth. Absolutely. This one says invest in lifelong learning, whether through books, courses, or mentorship to expand your understanding. This is what I was just talking about. Collectives is already doing this. They have been focused on research in some form, whether it was energetically, working with their gifts, studying, researching books, belief systems, ways of working with energy. This has assisted them in understanding and gaining more truth about what is happening in this experience and in their lives. And then we have serene stitches. Practice mindfulness techniques to achieve a tranquil state of mind and emotional well-being. So you guys are being encouraged to continue to focus on your energy work, to bring an energy of serenity and calm in your life, regardless of what is happening around you. And I mentioned this before, focusing on, you know, energy clearing work, cord cutting, grounding outside, you know, walking in nature, yoga, breath work. There's all kinds of ways that you can tune in and tap in and engage with energy work that helps you to clear out your energy field. But not just that, also helps you to regulate, to stay calm, to raise your vibration. This type of energy work has so many uses, and there's lots of ways to tap into it. So you're being encouraged to really focus on that, and that's going to help you with any residual energies that you're dealing with that are resistive or are oppositional. Like they're pushing in an opposite direction of what you're trying to do. They're pushing against you, basically. This will help you with that work, okay? Because the biggest key thing here is to keep your vibration up. The second you start spiraling and going downhill about what these energies are doing, you're in a lower vibrational state. It happens. But then do some work to lift your vibration up again. So your Serene Stitches card is really encouraging that you engage in some of these activities. So that's your quilt there. Embarking on Truth, Wisdom's Growth, and Serene Stitches. So those are some areas where you can focus if this message resonates for you today. I'm going to go on ahead and jump off here. I didn't want to make the message too long today. But definitely, if you guys are enjoying the messages and enjoying connecting with the collectives here at the Ora-gen Channel, please do like, share, and subscribe. Big shout out to the subscribers, old and new. We're over 5K and we are growing every day. So I want to thank you for all of your collective energies and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. And sending love, light, and support out to all of those who resonate with today's energy. I also myself resonate with it. Guys, we are not alone. Together we are strong. Please hang in there and definitely stick with your energy work to help raise your vibration. Once again, my name is Ora-gen, and I want to thank you for being here with me for another reading. Love and light, guys.